YouTube. How are you? I'm good. My name is Sarah.
And my name is Adam.
And this is the Utopia of Nerd News, where we talk about a lot of awesome stuff with a lot of awesome things. So, let's get started.
Alright, so first off, in the video games, the first one is EverQuest Next was revealed. And it is a MMO, the third EverQuest MMO to be made by Sony Online Entertainment. And what they're kind of angling is to be kind of a new type of MMO where instead of having a structured system for the game, every server is going to be kind of its own history. And they, instead of, scheduling all this stuff, it'll be like, say, every NPC type has their own personality. Say, orcs like gold is something that they said. So orcs are going to be trying to get gold and ores and things like that. So different things can randomly happen based in the world. They're trying to create an open environment where things can just happen, right? And players can go out, they can build their own houses out in the world, and they can go out with their friends, they can build little settlements with their houses, they can build up walls, and different animals can come and try and take down your walls. Say a dragon can fly in and try and take out your walls, so you have to fight off the dragon. And different things like that. And so instead of trying to be like, alright, let's build dungeons, let's build raids, let's get structured PvP for high levels, let's get things like that. They're saying, how about we make it so it's an environment where people live in? Another thing they said was like, with the orcs, it's like, well, I was there when the orcs invaded the southern region in 2014, and we fought off the orc invasion and things like that. So it's definitely interesting. We'll have to wait and see how well they can develop that kind of a thing, because that seems very
difficult.
Yeah.
A lot going into that.
But it does seem pretty interesting.
Yeah, it definitely does. Really, I mean, that's really awesome that they'd have, like, environment, it's like almost like player versus environment thing going on here with them having different personalities. So, if the orc or whatever is interested in gold, does it steal your gold?
Probably. Also, they said expect to see some of the areas and lands and places that were in EverQuest and EverQuest 2 inside of EverQuest Next.
Oh.
So if you're an experienced EverQuest player, something cool for you. Next up, Saints Row 4, which was banned from release in Australia. They finally decided to turn that around, and for you Australians, Saints Row 4 is coming there.
Yay!
The next one is a strategy RPG for the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita called Rainbow Skies. Has detailed release where they're saying they're adding, because this is the second in its franchise, they're adding things like monster taming, new combo attacks, dialogue and emoticon systems, different things like that, better like side quests, all those kinds of things to spruce it up. But the other one, even though it wasn't super popular, was well received by people.
Oh.
So
I've never even heard of it.
yeah, most people haven't.
Yeah.
I hadn't either, really.
Interesting.
Next up, Tomb Raider, the remake of Tomb Raider we had not too long ago, will have a sequel coming out for the next generation consoles. So that is confirmed. Just a little quick confirmation.
That's a thing.
That's the thing. Star Wars Battlefront 3 they're going to attempt to have it released about the same time as Star Wars Episode 7, so about in the summer of 2015. So they're trying to correlate that's released when Star Wars is going to be getting its big media push. So that sounds like a good, smart idea.
Yeah, because people are going to be excited for Star Wars, and they'll be like, a Star Wars movie and a Star Wars game. Oh my gosh, Star Wars.
Exactly, and it's not a movie game, so...
Right, that's cool.
So, one of the old school, kind of really popular old JRPG franchises that hasn't had a game in over 10 years was finally released with some bittersweet news to have the 6th game in the Breath of Fire franchise. And I say bittersweet because, yes, it's cool they're getting their next game and all that, but unfortunately, they said it's going to be coming out for mobile devices, tablets, and PC browsers. So, I mean, that's really bittersweet for the fans. At least I guess they're getting something, but, like, it sucks.
I'm one of those people that, yes, I'll play a game on my phone, but it won't stay there for very long. I'll end up deleting it, forgetting about it, and not caring anymore. Especially, I mean, even with a tablet or a PC browser. Like, when I think of PC browser, I think of, like, balloons. The monkey with the dart, and you pop the balloons.
Yeah, They should have just made it a full-fledged PC game. Release it for the Vita and the 3DS.
Yeah.
But there's also another little bit of bad news. At least as of right now, there are no plans on releasing it outside of Japan.
That sucks.
Yeah. Something really cool, though, at least I think is really cool. Elder Scrolls Anthology was announced, which will be released on September 10th. And it will feature Elder Scrolls 1 Arena, Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall, Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, which is the best of the prizes, I will say, as well as its 2 DLC, Tribunal and Blood Moon, with Elder Scrolls 4 with the DLCs Knights of the Nine and the Shivering Isles, which I love the Shivering Isles DLC, just so you know, and with Skyrim, with the Dawnguard, the Hearthfire, and the Dragonborn DLCs, all for $80, and it's all going to come with detailed maps of each of the regions.
So it's like a huge collection of games altogether?
You get all 5 Elder Scrolls games with about every DLC, at least every real big DLC, with detailed maps of each of the areas for $80.
That might be on my to-get list.
Right, September 10th. That's a nice buy, because these are big games.
Yeah.
It's a lot of content right there. I think it's probably in a little push right before Elder Scrolls Online, trying to be like, hey, you can see all these areas we're going to go to, so people can relive Morrowind in all of its greatness.
Yes. I've never played Morrowind, but everyone loves it, apparently.
It's the best Elder Scrolls, hands down. Hands down. So that's it for video game news. Flew right through it. Wasn't a whole lot to really discuss, but some cool stuff and some not so cool stuff. In the movie realm, the comic book publisher Rebellion has backed the fan petition for a sequel to the Dredd movie, which I'm all for. I loved the Dredd movie. It was completely original. It was awesome. Carl Urban, amazing in it. Just, I love that movie. I think most people who like comic book type things that don't mind them being for a mature audience really liked that movie.
I never saw it.
You should see it.
I don't even think I heard of it. Maybe I heard of it, but I never saw it.
And we got a bunch of news on the Warcraft movie.
Warcraft movie?
Yeah. The World of Warcraft movie. You didn't know they were making a live-action Warcraft movie. They're making a live-action Warcraft movie.
Oh my gosh!
And,
what?
And they finally released their first set of details for it, right? First off, they said it's not going to be based around World of Warcraft. It's going to be based more around the old strategy games, which is good because World of Warcraft kind of ruined the lore to the world. Whatever you think about it, I loved WoW, especially back in the day. It was a lot better. But they did destroy the lore in it. They killed off every villain in the franchise. They kind of...
They put their knife in it and twisted it and turned it.
Right. So they're saying this will be more around the strategy game. So it's going to be almost more, hopefully more close than World of Warcraft was to the lore. And they said that, quote, it will be a hardcore fantasy epic, which is great because there's no other way to do it. And mythical creatures all over the place was another line that they used. So hopefully they're not going to try and like take away some of the fantasy aspects to try and make it seem more of a modern, realistic thing, and just be all in. That's what it seems like they're doing. And if you're gonna do it, go all in. Right?
Go for it.
And they announced the 3 main characters, which the main character is Khadgar, who is a historical character in the Warcraft universe. He is a mage that works for the Kirin Tor, the rulers of Dalaran. His mentor, Medivh, and Lothar, who's kind of like I think he's supposed to be like the human military warrior general guy, who's supposed to be a little bit headstrong. They didn't say to what depth orcs and the elves and the dwarves and all those races would be in it, but they did say that they would be in it, especially the orcs to a large degree, which makes sense because the original strategy games, for the most part, were basically the orcs versus the humans. So I wouldn't be surprised to see an orcs versus humans movie.
This is an animated movie?
No, this is live action.
Oh my.
Yeah.
I want to see that Night Elf. Night Elf.
Yes, I want to see that Night Elf too.
I want to see the Night Elf plays.
Dirt asses. I'm a nerd. Alright. And the next one is X-Men Days of Future Past revealed the look of their Sentinels with a picture of Bryan Singer, the director of the movie, standing next to one, and they actually built these huge, like, I don't know exactly how tall they are. I think like maybe 20 feet if I was to guess. Dark purple robots that just look awesome. They look really cool. Yeah. If you've been keeping track of Pacific Rim sales recently, you will know that they're within striking range of breaking even.
Come on.
They had China. They had their release recently, and they were needing pretty good sized numbers from China. Well, let's just say that Pacific Rim got 23% more than the final Harry Potter did in China. It broke 9 million on their first day, and it's putting them on pace to break them even before they even touch Japan or Spain.
Do it.
Which would lead to a Pacific Rim sequel. And if you remember ahead of time, they did say Hellboy 3, they would put Guillermo del Toro's Hellboy 3 script that he'd made like 5 years ago into action. So hopefully both those movies get made now. Avatar came out 4 years ago now. It started all the 3D craze and rumors, or at least the rebirth of them.
The blue one, right?
Yes.
The blue people.
Yes, the blue people.
Just to let you know. Not talking
about. And ever since then, James Cameron's been saying, yeah, we're going to have a second one, and we're going to have a third one, but there's been nothing. It's been 4 years. They're not even filming right now.
Oh.
But they did recently finally come out and say their game plan for all of the series now.
Oh.
So they said next year we will be filming Avatar 2, Avatar 3, and Avatar 4 all at the same time, and kind of a Lord of the Rings style, filming all of them at the same time. And then Avatar 2 will be released December 2016. Avatar 3 will be released December of 2017, and Avatar 4, the final in the series, will be released December 2018.
Did he pull a Hobbit here and add another movie?
Nobody knew what he was planning in the first place.
Well,
at least The Hobbit was an established thing. It's a little bit different. But yes, he added it, so there's going to be 4 Avatar movies.
Interesting.
One coming out every year starting 2016. Which is a huge separation because it was like 2009 was the first one.
Yeah, and it was amazing.
It was good, yeah.
The only amazing movie that's been in 3D.
And the last little thing, there was a popular book series when we were younger. I don't know if you read them or not, but they were called Artemis Fowl.
I've heard of them, but I've never read them.
Well, Artemis Fowl was announced to be turned into a live-action movie, so that's a thing to keep your eye on.
Yay!
And we actually have a bit of TV news.
Wow.
The first of which is Time Warner has dropped CBS. So if you have Time Warner cable, you no longer have CBS with its affiliates, Flicks, TMC, the Smithsonian, and the big one, Showtime.
Oh, that sucks.
You lose Showtime and CBS both.
I'm sorry, Time Warner people.
Run away. Run as fast as you can.
Go get Showtime back.
Dexter needs you. Next up is kind of an interesting thing that almost filters with movies potentially.
Okay.
It is Barry Allen, The Flash,
Yes.
was announced to be in the second season of Arrow as a character for a few episode story arc where I guess he's going to start off being more human and he's going to build up and get his powers, and he'll be the first super powered or superhuman character in these particular TV shows, right? So the interesting thing is they're going to have him spin off and create his own TV show after the season. But when asked questions whether or not this could potentially connect into Man of Steel, like a lot of people are really hoping they do, so that they can get some more stuff in the Man of Steel DC universe, they didn't confirm or deny it. So there's a chance that they're going to have 2 separate DC universes going with 2 separate Flashes, and that'll really suck.
Oh.
But there is the slight possibility that this is the way to announce the Flash for the movies. They can get all of his origin stuff out of the way so they can start off with an awesome, cool movie with him, rumored 2017 or 2016. And, that would also incorporate that we would have our Green Arrow for the movies, which we don't think that there's a possibility of if this doesn't happen. So it could be either a huge connecting thing, or we're having 2 separate DC universes with the Flash in both of them.
Let's hope it's the one where it's combined and not, hey, we're just going to do 2 separate ones.
Right. And in my last bit of news, the 12th Doctor will be announced actually tomorrow night on television on a live BBC show, and they also said that Matt Smith will be in the 50th movie, obviously. Then following that will be the Christmas special, which will be his last episode as the Doctor. So tomorrow we can find out whether it's good or bad, and next week we will discuss our thoughts.
Yeah, and I'm going to discuss this right now. It better not be a girl. I have nothing against girls. Obviously, I am a girl.
Sexist?
No. Because this would totally ruin, like, Doctor Who. Like, just make it another dude. Make him ginger. He always wants to be ginger. Just don't make him a girl. Please. I don't want some whiny guy following the girl doctor around. We'll talk about this next week.
Alright, so that's it for my news. Now, on to Sarah and her anime stuff.
Anime news! Alright, so, not a whole lot going on in anime, obviously. I'm gonna, kind of put that because, Anime Con was a couple weeks ago, so they're just kind of like, we let everything out. We have nothing left. But, I found a few things. Ta-da! So, Blue Exorcist has a secret project going on in the works. And it was acknowledged in the September issue of Jump Square on Saturday that the manga Blue Exorcist has a secret project. The magazine did not hint at what that secret project was or is, but details regarding the project will be revealed at a later date. So stay tuned for that. And obviously, Blue Exorcist, the manga, has already inspired an anime and a movie, and so yeah, the 11th volume of the manga will actually go on sale in Japan in August, this month of gloriousness, and the series has over 11 million copies. So if you are a Blue Exorcist fan, there's a secret project going on. Stay tuned.
I vaguely remember that being really weird, that anime.
I don't think I've ever actually watched it.
I only remember really vague things, and I remember thinking, like, there was times where I really liked it, and times where I was just like, this is just weird. Not Neo Genesis Evangelion and weird, where the creator of the show didn't even know what he was meaning by all of his hyperbole in it, but still getting kind of weird at points.
So, speaking of Evangelion, 2.22 is to run on Toonami on August 31st. Adult Swim's Toonami block announced that on Wednesday, and it is a film. It'll come out on August 31st for Toonami. It's actually called Evangelion 2.22 You Cannot Advance. So, that's a thing. And Toonami staff added that the American television block will also show a special little goodie that you'll have to wait to find out about. Woo! Lots of little goodie things to wait for. And in addition, the American series Star Wars, The Clone Wars, will replace the anime Eureka 7 after it finishes its latest run on the Adult Swim next month. Adult Swim is working on running the full finale of Eureka 7 as opposed to the cut version that ran during the anime's first Adult Swim back in 2007. And Evangelion 2.0, You Cannot Advance, is the second film in this remake part series thing.
Oh, well, it does sound like Adult Swim's taking the cheap route, picking up an anime that's pretty old. But I suppose cut costs, right?
Yeah, it was all for anime news. Like I said, there wasn't a whole lot to really grab and go with. I mean, like I said, AnimeCon killed it. Like E3 killed video games for a while.
Yep.
Well, they didn't really kill it, just
stifled it.
Right. The news. So, let's move on to some book news. So, book news. There is a book called The Companions, The Sundering, and it's the first book. It's by R.A. Salvatore.
Sorry. I love you, Drist.
Actually, this kind of has to do, well, we'll see. We'll see.
Is it Forgotten Realms?
So, the latest installment in New York Times bestselling author R.A. Salvatore's beloved fantasy saga, The Companions, moves Salvatore's signature hero, Drizzt, into a new era of the Forgotten Realms. As Drit's fate hangs in the balance, he reflects on the lives of the trusted allies who stood by his side throughout his early life. The friends now known as the Companions of the Hall. Meanwhile, the first stirrings of the Sundering begin. So yes, this is a new book series, kind of. It's just moving him along.
Right, it's the next one.
It's the next one.
He's a number of trilogies. As you can see behind the camera, I have 3 trilogies lined up that are his trilogies.
I do see this. So how do you feel about this?
I'm excited and I want them. I want them bad. Books are for nerds.
Yay, nerds. So yes, that's some great news for the Forgotten Realms fans. You got a new
Speaking of things that need to have movies, like they could just do like 10 movies on Dritz.
Speaking of The Ranger's Apprentice, that movie needs to come out.
Well, at least that one has purchased rights.
Yes. So, the next book we're going to talk about is called The Crown Tower, and it is the Ria.
It doesn't matter, we've already peaked with the book news for the week.
But this one is by Michael J. Sullivan, and it is about 2 men who hate each other, one impossible mission, and a legend in the making. So, Hadrian Blackwater, a warrior with nothing to fight for, is paired with Royce Melbourne, a thieving assassin who has nothing to lose. So together they must steal a treasure that no one can reach. The Crown Tower is the impregnable remains of the grandest fortress ever built and home to the realm's most prized possessions. But it isn't gold or jewels that the old wizard is after, and if he can keep them from killing each other, they just might do it. So, if you're into fantasy books, I mean, obviously that's what we talk about. We talk about science fiction and fantasy books. But if this one strikes your fancy, it might be one that you want to pick up, because these 2 books will be available on August 6th, which is Tuesday. So, those are a thing. Adam's excited for the Companions of Sundering Book 1 with
Adam
his
is
boy
excited.
Dritz. And, yeah, those are things.
Those are. So, I believe that is it for our show.
That is it.
Before we go, just so everybody knows, this episode and today is actually Sarah's birthday.
It is. Yay.
So, happy birthday, Sarah.
Thank you.
And we have really nothing for over the week, so we get a week off. We will see you guys next Saturday, hopefully.
Yes.
And goodbye. Go pick up the book. The book. There was really only one mention.
Yes, go pick up that Companions, the Sundering, Book 1. It'll be great. I can't promise you it'll be great. He can promise you it'll be great.
Bye.
See you later.